Storm Tracker 6. This is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. We're waking up to temperatures into the 20s across the area, so it is a little bit of a chilly start this morning. 22 degrees in Lansing, 22 in Mason, 23 in Jackson, and 23 in Hillsdale. We're also looking at some snow showers making its way across the Lake Michigan. Now it's making its way into the Grand Rapids area. Over the next couple of hours, we'll continue to see those snow showers moving in, although our temperatures are going to move into the 30s and into the upper 30s by this afternoon, so we won't see any big accumulations for the day today. I'll have the full details coming up in just a little bit. 6 News This Morning starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Thank you for waking up with us. It's Sunday, February 2nd. I'm Karina Prieto, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. President Trump has sparked a potential trade war between the U.S. and its two closest economic allies, Mexico and Canada, after announcing 25% tariffs on most goods from those two countries. The president also announced a 10% tariff on Chinese goods. As CBS's Christian Benavides reports, the move is likely to raise the prices of some goods for Americans.
The tariffs levied against Mexico, Canada, and China are set to go into effect on Tuesday. They could lead to a rise in the price of cars, energy, spirits, lumber, and across the agriculture sector. President Donald Trump says they're necessary and in response to illegal immigration, illicit fentanyl, and trade deficits.
Tariffs don't cause inflation, they cause success. Cause big success. So we're going to have great success. There could be some temporary short-term disruption, and people will understand that.
Mexico and Canada are set to face 25% tariffs, with the exception of Canadian energy at 10%. China will face 10% tariffs. The three are the U.S.'s biggest trading partners.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has already retaliated and said the country was also considering non-tariff measures, including some related to critical minerals and energy. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said retaliatory tariffs are also in the works. The Nonpartisan Tax Foundation says tariffs could cost the average American family about $800 a year. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
In Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer released a statement on the new tariffs, saying she expects the price of groceries, heating, and cars are going to go up, and it could put millions of jobs in our state at risk. The governor went on to say these tariffs amount to a middle-class tax hike on a state that has already done a lot to bring manufacturing back. She also said she is proud of Michigan and spoke about Trump, saying, quote, "I'll be glad to work with him and anyone to protect Michigan's auto manufacturing, lower costs, and fight for Michigan's working families." The director of the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development also put out a statement. He said, quote, "We have to expect tariffs will immediately threaten agriculture jobs, our rural economies, and ultimately what it costs to put food on the table." While staying with politics, the Democratic Party has a new man in charge, Ken Martin. He will lead the National Committee at a time when Democrats are trying to figure out a new direction after big losses in 2024. Democrats have seen losses in major communities like African Americans, Latinos, and working class voters. And new polling this week shows just 31% of voters have a favorable opinion of the party. But now Martin is warning Republicans to be on the lookout for a new Democratic Party that hopes to bring these voters back. He says one of his early priorities is going to be challenging the billionaire class that has gotten more conservative over the past few years. We also have the latest updates from the investigations into 2 separate plane crashes that happened last week, starting in Washington, D.C., where crews are still searching the Potomac River for bodies. Data from the flight recorder in that crash shows that the crash happened about 325 feet in the air. However, data from the air traffic controller says the helicopter was flying 200 feet off the surface of the water. The black box from the helicopter has not yet been recovered, and investigators hope it'll be the missing piece to figuring out what went wrong. Officials say more than 300 responders were taking part in the recovery effort at any given time. And in Pennsylvania, a fiery plane crash killed all 6 people aboard and another person on the ground. The crash also left 19 people wounded, and officials are warning that these numbers could go up. The plane was only in the air for about a minute before crashing almost straight down from the height of 1,500 feet. Investigators are still looking for cockpit voice recorders, but the wreckage is spread out over multiple city blocks, and that's making it hard to get answers. We will stay with both of these incidents, and we'll make sure to keep you updated both on air and online. And before we hand it over to Kelsey with the weather, we want to let you know that we're standing by to hear from a popular forecaster in Pennsylvania. It's Groundhog Day, and Punxsutawney Phil is getting ready to wake up from hibernation and greet the nation. Phil is still sleeping in right now, but we will be sure to let you know those results in our 8 o'clock show. Groundhog Day is an annual tradition that goes back more than 100 years. If Phil doesn't see his shadow, then that could mean an early spring. But if he does see it, legend says that means 6 more weeks of winter. The Master of Ceremonies will also listen to the noises coming from the groundhog to see if he has anything else to chime in. But for now, we'll turn over to our forecaster, Kelsey Emery, for something a little easier to understand.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, we're seeing those cloudy skies across mid-Michigan this morning. Unfortunately, that's going to probably impact one of our mid-Michigan groundhogs that does predict the forecast for the spring. But maybe for Punxsutawney Phil, he might not see his shadow, which means that it could be an early spring. Take a look at this. If he does, it all depends on what the weather is, whether we see an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter. Either way, though, it's still going to see cloudy skies for the day today anyway. If you want more information about Groundhog's Day, I did do a Weather Wednesday package earlier this week, all about Groundhog's Day. So if you want to learn more, head over to our website for more information. Here we have our temperatures back into the 20s, 22 degrees in Lansing, Mason, 23 degrees in Jackson and Charlotte and Hillsdale as well. We're seeing those cloudy skies and yes, even a band of some snow showers moving into the Grand Rapids area. Those will continue to move into the mid-Michigan area over the next couple of hours and give us just a little bit of some snow in the forecast. As you can see, this is all a low pressure system, but we do have that area of high pressure system well off to our east that's still giving us that dry conditions at the surface. So that's why we haven't seen a whole lot of snow yet. So again, we'll continue to see that high pressure system eroding away, and eventually we'll see some snow showers across the area for this morning and into later this morning as well. As we head into this afternoon, there could be a few pockets of some drizzle, maybe even some freezing fog, as we continue to see just a little bit of moisture still in the system. Although we will still see those cloudy skies, so unfortunately, if we have any groundhogs looking for their shadow, they probably will not, because the sun will be very hard to see for today because of those clouds. Temperatures, though, will be closer to average, in fact a little bit above average, as we see temperatures into the 30s, 35 degrees, average is 31 degrees for this time of year. We'll continue to see those snow showers from the morning hours until about noontime, and then we could see maybe a little bit of a mix, but then as we head into this evening, that's when we'll see those clouds and foggy conditions continue in the forecast. So again, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of snow from this, just a dusting to maybe an inch across the area for this morning. So again, it's just going to be a nuance here and there, so you might just have to dust off your car or later on today. But again, those temperatures are going to be warming above freezing, so any of those roadways that could be impacted will quickly become improving as we head into this afternoon as temperatures start to warm up. So again, we're going to see temperatures into the 30s this morning, gradually warming up into the mid-30s for today, with those snow showers coming to an end later this afternoon.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely hoping that we don't see a shadow. I would love an early spring.
Yeah, I mean, it's either way. It's like we still see spring either way. So I'm just like, it's whatever for me.
It's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
Fun to guess.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks, Kelsey.